Today is the day of battle that we prayed would come. Take up your weapons and make your farewells. Some of you will die in what follows, but our people will have victory.
The orders had been given. Classis Misenensis surged forward, not in defense, but in pursuit. The Roman troops anxiously awaited the clash, staring at the fleet growing ever closer. Flaming projectiles tore through the sky. Roman catapults and ballistae struck first. Early blows meant to break the Etruscan line before the ships clashed. Then the distance closed. Hull met hull. The sea itself buckled under the violence of ramming prows and crashing timber. The Etruscans fought like men cornered by fate. Boarding parties hurled themselves into Roman ranks, blades flashing, shields cracking, but the hastati held firm. Roman artillery continued to rain fire from behind. One by one, enemy vessels burst into flame or slipped beneath the waves. Panic spread. Etruscan sailors leapt into the sea, some to flee, others to drown. This was the fleet Commander Galba had fought to build. And now, as Etruscan ships vanished beneath the waves, his vision was carved into history, in fire and salt. When the smoke cleared, only Roman hulls remained. The sea belonged to the Republic. With the western coast secure, Classis Misenensis turned to its true task, escorting Legio I across open waters. The final Etruscan stronghold awaited on Corsica, but not all threats came from across the sea. To the north, Massalia stirred. Barbarians lingered at the border, silent for now, watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. Rome's fears were soon realized. While her fleets pursued victory at sea, Massalia struck. The gates of Velathri thundered with war cries as Massalia launched its invasion, catching Rome off balance, stretched thin across land and sea. But Velathri was not undefended. Legio II, veterans of the Etruscan campaign, held the town. Under the command of Decimus Junius Brutus, Roman soldiers locked down the central avenues, and Triarii were ordered to hold one of the key approaches with discipline and steel. Fire arrows screamed through the sky. Slingstones cracked against helmets and shields in return. Back and forth, the missiles and projectiles flew, inflicting casualty upon casualty. Neither side yielded an inch. The storm of war broke over the city. Then came the second push. A detachment from Massalia looped through the narrow streets and struck another choke point. The hastati met them head-on. The fighting, brutal and close. Blades clashed. Orders were lost in the noise, and yet the line held, forged by experience and bound by duty. Seizing the moment, the Roman commander gave the order. A flanking force slipped through a side opening in an attempt to flank the enemy on both sides of the town. Outnumbered and alone, the Roman lines continued to hold out, forged together by discipline and courage. As the flanking force revealed itself to the enemy, Rome's war dogs were unleashed, tearing through skirmishers and spreading panic. The flanking infantry struck from behind, first throwing their pylons and then charging with blade and shield. The predators became the prey. On both sides of the town, the fighting became fierce and desperate. The Massalian army was trapped on all sides and began to collapse. Cavalry poured in to seal the victory. What remained of the invaders scattered. No order, no retreat, only escape. Legio II had held, and with them, Velathri, scarred but unconquered. Meanwhile, the combined forces of Gaius Valerius Corvus and Publius Sulpicius Galba began their assault on Corsica, the final Etruscan stronghold. Through fog and silence, the final blow approached. Legion and fleet moving as one. Ship after ship touched the sand. Hastati, velites, cavalry, all disembarked in practiced silence as the gray Corsican sky hung low over the coming storm. The Romans rushed forward, eager to get into formation and prepare for the coming battle. The enemy struck early. A cavalry charge, probing, testing the line. It was repelled. Then came the Etruscan infantry. Hoping to catch the Romans mid-formation, they pressed the assault before the Romans could fully establish themselves. But they were already too late. Steel met flesh on Corsican soil. Shield lines locked. The ground shook. Neither side broke. Not yet. For a moment the line held, Etruscan and Roman equal in resolve. But the Romans had not come without answer. Roman equities rode wide, patient, disciplined, waiting for the moment to strike. Then came the hammer. Roman cavalry crashed into the rear ranks. The Etruscans tried to hold firm, but the attempt was futile, and the line finally broke. The Etruscans fought well, but they were outnumbered, surrounded, and soon they were no more. Corsica was now Roman, and with the fall of its last defenders, the Etruscan name passed into history, with blood and silence.